Welcome to another in a series of podcasts from CAS Worldwide. We are process improvement specialists. We help companies increase their revenues by decreasing their costs through improving their internal controls. With me today is the business development strategist for Techworks Consulting Inc., Connor Robertson. Hello, Connor.
Hello, Jamie. Thank you for having me.
It is truly my pleasure, and I mean that most sincerely. All right, so let's get right to it because we don't have a lot of time. I was looking at your website. It's always a good thing. And you had a phrase in there that said, optimize business through technology. Well, that's what we do. I just said that. We optimize companies' processes by introducing new technologies to streamline things. What do you mean when you're optimizing a company's business through technology?
So Techworks has been around for 20 years, starting off as a break fix computer shop, if you will, to helping companies become more effective, more efficient, and therefore more profitable through the use of technology. So we want clients and business owners to come to us when they have any kind of issue at all, so we can figure out a way to help technology bring you and that issue to the next level.
All right. See, we're on the same page. We do the same thing. All righty. You throw around a term every now and then called MSP. You are an MSP, and that is a managed service provider. Okay, what is a managed service provider?
So a managed service provider, MSP, I also like to say a technology solution provider. We are the backbone of any given business to monitor, manage, and maintain a company's network. So taking the more proactive instead of the reactive approach. So you don't just call us when a problem happens. We do everything we can to make sure problems don't happen to begin with, so your business is operating smoothly. So we want you to focus on what you do best and leave the tech stuff to the tech experts.
I like that. I like that. The idea of you're the expert, so you've been there, you've seen it, you know what the good, the bad, and the ugly is. Let's jump into something that everybody is talking about: cybersecurity. You're talking about, you just said you want to be proactive, you want to prevent problems. So, is cybersecurity real? I mean, I'm a small business, so they're really gonna, hack me and what are they gonna do? Steal my email?
Well, that's what's funny. A lot of people say they're either too small to get hacked, they're not after me, or I don't store any financial data. That's not really all these bad actors are going for. It's the fact that you have data that they can lock down and encrypt to cause a disruption to your business, so they can hold you for ransomware. So they want X amount of dollars, $50,000, $100,000, $1 million to give you your information back so you can operate. So you want to make sure you have everything in place, layers of security to make sure that these bad actors are staying out of your network. There's a lot of different ways you can be doing that.
I was at an event of yours about a week or so ago, and you were talking about that. And they were talking about encrypting the data or backing up the data. It's fascinating that the individual was talking about getting hacked, and they encrypt the data so I can't access my information, and then they want me to pay, or they want them to pay $50,000 or $100,000 so that they can have their data back.
Correct. Just so you can get it back, and you have to trust them that they'd give it back if you were to pay the ransom. But our goal is to never have you in that kind of spot.
Preventative as opposed to reactionary, again, like you're saying.
Correct.
I thought it was interesting to say that this one particular instance, they paid a hefty ransom, and that the I don't know what you call it, the de-encryption, the bringing the data back was very slow, and they actually were able to go back and get their own backup. So they maybe didn't have to pay it, but anyway, nonetheless, I guess I've talked about things like phishing. I always thought about that one. I'm not a fisherman, but you talk about a phishing simulation and awareness training so that companies don't get into a situation like that they don't get hacked. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Sure. So human error is almost the root cause for every attack, and I use every loosely. It's a major cause for many attacks. Whether someone went to a malicious website or clicked on a link or an attachment that they shouldn't have, and someone got into the network, they sat in the dark corner, and then they performed harm, sometimes weeks, months, years later. They'll monitor activity, and they'll see what you do and things you go to, and get credentials and whatnot. But simulated phishing is a really cool thing that we do, because it's a proof of concept, if you will. So we would push out something that we would actually push out, our fake and simulated phishing emails to any given client. And it's usually the IT liaison or the owner that knows we're doing this, so they have an idea. But we'll send mass emails to any given organization that are fake spam emails, and we'd see how many people would not only click on the email, open the email, but how many people would then click on the attachment in the email. And then we can provide a report saying, hey, your CFO or Sally in accounting, and we don't have any clients named Sally that are in accounting, so I think I can say that. We can say these people clicked these many emails that would have potentially caused harm for the organization. So it's a fun little exercise we do. There's always one or two people every time we do one of those campaigns that it's like, wow, that person in that role isn't cyber smart, if you will.
So I'm not going to get $20 million or a piece of that from my Nigerian friend?
Correct.
That's not true.
It might not say something like that, but it would say your Amazon package has delivered, or there's an issue with your Amazon package. Click this link to confirm this, and it'll look like it's a message from Amazon, but in reality, it's not.
So I get that message, and it looks real. So I open it up, and I'm looking at it, and now I think it's a little fishy, pardon the pun, and I'm looking at it, and I don't like it, and so I don't click on anything else within it. I just delete it, and I hope I didn't get bit. Is that safe, or do I have to actually? Am I stuck on the hook, and then they're just going to pull me in? Or is it that there's a link in there that I have to click?
There's usually a link or an attachment within the email that once you click that, that's where the harm could happen. And a lot of our clients will get these, proof of concept aside or simulated phishing aside, when they get an email and they're just, hey, I don't know if this is right, they can just forward that to us. We have the right protections in place, so we can look at it and we can validate, hey, you think you know that person. We'll do our investigation. We can say, hey, Sally, I think I might reference Sally a few times tonight. Sally, that email is okay. You can open you can open that email. That's fine.
No,
People do that to us all the time.
Is it true then? I picture that there was that commercial of the office with all the people in their cubicles, and somebody opens up the email and it sends off a siren, and the next thing you know, everybody else's computer's buzzing and everybody else's computer's going crazy. Is that it, or is it more subtle? Is it that I open the link and now they've got access?
A lot of times you can open the link and you won't think anything happened. And it's the person that'll open the link and be like, uh-oh, I think I did something, but I'm not going to say anything about it. That could be the most harmful, because like I said, they'll be able to get into your network, and they're not going to do something immediately most of the time. They'll monitor your activity and kind of pounce at a time where you least expect it.
Interesting. So do you replace somebody's IT department, or do you supplement it? So like, for example, when I was in the travel business, my brother was our IT. He had several people, but I'm assuming that he was using outside companies for some of this stuff. How do you guys work?
We have a co-managed approach. There's a couple of ways we do things. We're either the outsourced provider for any given company that doesn't have an internal IT person, or we have a big handful of clients that take our expertise to supplement their internal team. So maybe they only have one or two people supporting an organization of 100, 200, or 1,000, and they need help. They may leverage us for our ticketing system. They may want to be the eyes and ears on site And when something gets a little too much for them, they'll escalate it to us, or vice versa. They'll let us do those level 1, level 2 tickets and issues, password resets, connect to a printer. Hey, this is running slow. Can you take a look at it? And they want to focus on the bigger picture, Office 365 migration, the IT vision for the company, server migration. But it's nice to have us to take the same side of a table approach so we can make sure we're bringing the organization, aligning with the vision, taking it to the next level. So very often, we're not going to try to displace an internal IT person, but we work very well with them.
So how do you typically engage a new client? I've got computers, I've got people, I've got software, everything's there. It's not like I just pulled you up and said, I've just hired 100 people and nobody has anything. So what's the typical engagement look like?
So typically, we have a proven process. The proven process starts with a network assessment. So we like to date before we get married, if you will. We want to know what's under the hood. We want to know about your network to see if we're even a fit. So we'll come in, we do a network assessment, which is a deep dive network assessment into what your network looks like. So what kind of risks do we see? Do we see any vulnerabilities, whether it be open ports, you're not using a business grade firewall? I hope no one's using Windows 7 anymore, because I think we all know Windows 7 is not supported, and it's one of the main things that hackers look for and how they can get into your system. But to go back, we start all of our relationships with the network assessment. We look at your organization, we look at your network through some tools, some reports we run, and a set of interview questions to see how your network has been taken care of. And we could say, hey, we could fix this, this, and this. We could take you on as this kind of client and bring you to that, again, next level.
So I've got a bunch of servers, I've got people. I don't have a firewall. I don't have any of these protections. You come in, you say, I need all these protections, and I go, no, I don't need it. Are you going to still keep me as a customer?
We like to work with people that understand letting go. You know, some people that, you know, it goes both ways. You hire us and we hire you. That's where we want to look at your network to see if it's even the right thing to do. We give guidance. We want the best for people. We take on the responsibility of your network. If you're not going to listen to us with best practices and how you should be running your network, you know, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. But we've turned down clients before that didn't want to listen to us. And without getting too into it, yeah, we want to make sure that when you engage with us, it's because you trust us. We're going to recommend the right things to do for the business, and we're the experts. We've been around. We've seen everything, you know, several times, unfortunately.
I say that to you because, like us, as process improvement specialists, it's really a matter of recognizing your vulnerabilities and a willingness to implement change. If you're not willing to implement the change, then it really wasn't worth going and finding the vulnerabilities and paying to find them out. And the same thing with you guys. You know, there's a certain level of responsibility that you maintain. And if you're managing my network for me, and I get attacked, I'm going to go screaming at you that why didn't we do it?
Naturally.
And if your answer is, well, because you didn't put the firewall in, or you know, then I was watching a show. They just put a new alarm system in the house, and they didn't turn the alarm on. That's kind of what you're saying is, you know, it's you can put the alarm, you can put the system in, but you got to turn it on.
Sure.
So
we have what's called an acknowledgement of risk form. So if we advise on something that is absolute best practice that we recommend you do this, for example, multi-factor authentication, everybody needs to have it. We enforce it throughout all of our clients. And if we were to have someone say, hey, I don't want to do that, it's too much of an inconvenience to open up the app, type in this 5-digit number, you know, once a month or whenever it is, we're going to let you know we recommended this. It's one of, if not the number one way those bad actors get into networks. We're going to let you know we recommended it. This is what you should do. And that you are signing here saying, I heard your recommendation, but I'm not going to take your recommendation.
You gotta love that. You gotta, so again, taking responsibility. Back to MSPs, you've got a product called Techwatch. Did we kind of cover that, or is there more to it?
We did a little bit. That's our bread and butter. That's our ongoing managed services that all of our clients are under. So we have our basics package, we have our silver package with unlimited remote support, our gold package with unlimited remote and on-site support. What it all comes down to is all the licensing, all the agents you need, backups, support, patches, updates, and other bells and whistles that come with each package. But that's our bread and butter. We want to be able to help clients on an ongoing basis with your outsourced technology needs.
Let's talk infrastructure for a moment. How's that?
Love infrastructure.
I move it, and me too. I move into a brand new facility. I call you up, you're my IT guy, and I say, okay, what do I need to do in this facility? Am I going to be completely wireless and let everybody use their cell phones and their laptops? Or do I still need wires? And if I need wires, does Techworks do it?
Who are you going to call? So one of the things I loved about Techworks when I first started here, I've known a lot of other managed service providers on the island. We've worked with a lot because of this reason, is we have a designated infrastructure department. So running cables, running wires, we've done just a la carte camera jobs for people, audio visual, access control. We have that a lot of others don't, which I find it pretty unique. So yeah, when someone is either expanding, they're getting a new office, they're going into a new building, let us know from the start. So we can work with the floor plans and say you need cameras here, you need access control here. It's a fun department we have for sure, and it's definitely again unique without beating a dead horse because other people don't necessarily focus on that.
Well, it's good to know that, in other words, you're a full service IT company. That if what I need, you're going to have, whether it's the software, the hardware, the infrastructure, etc. You mentioned working a remote workforce. That obviously became a very big topic when the COVID-19 pandemic struck. Everybody was working from home. Did you see a lot of your clients needing to implement a work from home environment, or were you in a position that you had actually set this up for them in advance?
There's a lot of our clients that have a either hybrid or work from home environment, and we saw it coming. With COVID the way it was, we were here the whole time. We're essential because of some of the clients that we have that are essential, so we need to be able to support them. I don't want to say it's more of a challenge, but there's more environments to manage. Someone can be having connectivity issues from their bedroom, and is it a problem with the hardware, or is Optimum or whatever ISP in the area having an issue? So there's more troubleshooting. Doesn't necessarily make it more complicated, but there's more areas for issues to come up when there's more environments to monitor. One of the biggest things, though, I've noticed was making sure when people are working from home, we recommend all of our clients to provide their work from home employees with a company device, with a company laptop or a company PC. And they have policies in place so that it's only used for company work, not, little Johnny going on to play his video games or going on the web, going to what, God knows what sites. We make sure that there's those policies, because all it takes is someone like little Johnny, who's in third grade, going to something that he shouldn't go to, and that gets a bug that can spread throughout the organization.
Why outsource your IT? Techworks. What's my benefit?
Outsource your IT. There's a lot of reasons you should outsource your IT. Everyone's running around doing so many things in their day-to-day. Your IT should not be something you worry about unless you're the IT person. I think that's the simplest way to say so. Um, you want to work with people that have good values. You want to work with people that understand technology, that are experts, so you can, you interview them, you go through a process in vetting them out to make sure they're the right ones, but then you want to literally give them the keys to your castle to be able to make sure your network is in the best hands as possible. So if you're in that right size and you want to hire somebody internally and also work with some form of an MSP, that works well. But an MSP works around the clock, 24/7, 365. We know what to look out for. We have people on call all the time, and we work holidays, weekends, and all that fun stuff. So a lot of the bad actors will actually prey on holiday weekends because they'll know people are out of the office for that extra day, let's say, and they'll try to get into the network then because they think they have a little more time. Hiring is, yeah, the other thing I just want to make sure I touch on it is hiring. I think people are seeing it across the board. Hiring is a challenge for a lot of industries. And, you hire an IT firm and you don't just hire that one person who takes vacation, who needs a 401k, who can be sick. You hire a firm that's a team deep, technicians, engineers, consultants that are always there for you, and they're not going to quit on you and you're going to have to retrain somebody.
Knowledge, skill, and resources. I like that. That's what it's about. And I like what you're talking about is technology is rapidly changing. I don't want to have to worry about it. I want to turn on my computer. I want it to work. I don't want it to have any bugs. I don't want it to be slow. I don't want it to be attacked. And I want to be able to your answer is because you've been there, you've done that, and you've got all the resources to make sure that if something does happen, you're back up and running very quickly. All right. Well, it really has been interesting. I think we've covered a lot of bases here and talked about a lot of different things. You talk about why outsourcing the technology. I like that. I understand that. And again, I'm not an expert in it, so I want an expert in that. Take a minute or two and just tell me why Techworks. I've been to your office, and there's a special feel around the ping pong table or
the bar,
the
dartboard.
why don't you talk about that? Because you really are a unique organization with a very unique leader and a very unique team.
I am very proud of the culture here. I love every single person here. And you have to at any job because you spend more time with your work family than your at home family. So you have to feel that level of comfort and enjoy coming to work every day. So we've been around 20 years. I've only been with the company for several, but Techworks has been around for 20 years. And I believe it was 2017 where EOS was adopted, the Entrepreneurial Operating System. So a set of concepts and rules and structured meetings and goals, so everyone's rowing in the right direction. So we have PCAN, our core values. So professional and fun, empathetic, communicative, communicate effectively and openly and honest, accountable and organized, and never stop learning. So the one I always harp on that I think shines with our culture is the professional and fun. Between barbecues, we have a July 4th barbecue coming up. We just did go-karting. We were at Topgolf. Every month there's like 2 or 3 things that we do as a family. And, actually in 15 minutes, I don't know if people will know what time this is when we record it. We do our 4 o'clock shots every Friday at the bar where we get to unwind and, talk about any success we've had during the week and just get together as a family because everyone's running around so crazy during the week. This is where we get together and celebrate.
Wonderful. And I think that's a perfect time to say thank you. It is Friday, so have a great weekend. If anybody's interested in learning more about Techworks, you can reach out to me, Jamie Austin, at CAS Worldwide at casww.com. I'd be happy to make a formal introduction to Connor and the people at Techworks. So Connor, thank you. And I guess I can say, have a soda for me.